This is Meet the Owner, where business stories come to life with your host, Stephen Dryden Hall. Let's go, people.
Welcome to Boom 7, Meet the Owner. It's episode 22. I had to ask my guest, does she have a business? Because this is a business podcast. Pretty much so. It's Melanie Beck MBE, Milton Keynes legend. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, amazing. So we just had a good catch up because we were running a little bit late today. Oh, little girl's waving. Hello.
That's nice.
Ah.
Oh, bless.
What business do you have or are part of? Because I've on your LinkedIn this morning. There's so much history, so many contacts. It's massive. What do you do?
What do I do? They joke in my family that I must have a A4 piece of paper for all the things that I do. So I don't have a business card. So I still have my MJB marketing company, which was really, and I still do work on a couple of things there. But I also am chairman of a charity called MK Snap.
Yeah, we know MK Snap. Well done.
Needs.
Amazing.
So I've been chairman for 5 years there. I'm chairman of Sports Aid Eastern Region. So that looks after athletes who are not quite at podium level. So they haven't got to that place where they get UK sport funded. So it's still the rank of mum and dad. So we fundraise for those and we give out grants to all sports, all Olympic sports. I'm the vice chairman of the Technical Diving Committee for World Aquatics, which is the world governing body for Olympic diving. I'm the secretary for European Aquatics for high diving. These are the guys, Red Bull guys, that throw themselves off 27 metres and girls from 20.
Is that the height, 27?
That's 27 metres, yeah. So I was actually part of the negotiations of bringing those divers into World Aquatics, the governing body. They came in 2013 and I was part of the group that brought them into World Aquatics. So yeah, I think
is that it?
I think that's it.
That's the full list.
That's the full list at the moment. And grandma.
And grandma, four grandchildren?
4 grandchildren, so unpaid childminder. But I guess, really what most people would know about me locally was I established the Business Improvement District for Central Milton Keynes, which is called My Milton Keynes.
But aren't you also the deputy, have you mentioned that?
I'm a deputy lieutenant. Yeah, I forgot that one, sorry.
Yes.
So I'm also...
this A4 sheet's got bigger.
Yeah. I'm a deputy lieutenant for Buckinghamshire, so... appointed by the Lord Lieutenant, the lovely Countess Howe, who represents the King in Buckinghamshire.
Pretty
I am
cool.
one of her deputy lieutenants, and I go out doing some amazing things with local organisations and citizenship ceremonies. And so, do I have a job? Yeah, I'm pretty busy.
So you've got a lot of skills and experiences, and you're still in the game with a lot of things to do. I always start about what you were like at school, because...
A nightmare.
Well, a nightmare?
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
I came out of school with 0.
Zero.
Yeah, absolutely zip. I think I got ungraded on my CSE maths. That dates
CSE?
me. CSE.
What does that mean?
So your CSEs, I don't think I even do those now. Actually, when I went to school, we had O levels and CSEs.
Yes.
Okay, so ungraded in maths, which is slightly worrying.
Wow.
I think I got a couple. I can't even tell you what I got.
Just quickly go back to like toddler. What were you like character-wise? What was your? If someone was like,
I was middle child.
What does that mean?
Middle child syndrome. Chip on my shoulder. I think if you talk to any child that is of 3, I grew up in a family where my older sister was a star diver. She was a diver.
Okay, yeah.
I was the also-ran. Bloody, sorry, shouldn't. Not very.
The podcast we like.
Not very good.
Not very.
Okay, so I was pretty bloody awful
yes.
at diving. Actually, I only got to national level, and then
that's still good.
Then my mum and dad had a fairly boozy mayor's ball because my dad was a councillor in Bedford, and hey presto, 9 months later, my younger sister arrived, and so here was I, 8 years old, had been the baby of the family. No more. This little runt had arrived, and so I was.
Did you get on with your sister? Is it sister?
She's she's quite a lot younger than me. I do get on with her.
Yeah.
We've had our moments.
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, you just called her a runt.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, you know, she took my place, didn't she? I was no longer baby of the family.
Yes.
So what I would say is, I'm middle child. My sister was, you know, the family revolved around her diving. I sort of tried to get involved, wasn't that good at it. In fact, my dad once said, if I had your sister's brains and your grace, I'd have a decent diver.
Motivational dad.
Yeah, motivational dad, yeah. So I would say, as a toddler, I very much did my own thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because the family was a busy family.
Wandering around, go and play.
Yeah, and I got packed off to grandparents at some holidays because they didn't really know what to do with me. And
did you feel like that was the case at the time, or did you just reflecting?
Reflecting, yeah.
Oh, they just got rid of me.
I reflected on it, and you know, I always make this joke when I get into the back seat of a car. Like, and there'll be 3 people to sit in the back seat. Don't worry, I'll sit in the middle seat because I had to the whole of my childhood because I was the middle child. So, you know, those sorts of things. It does. And any middle child I meet will tell you the same thing.
Yes, because they say about it.
We all have middle child syndrome. Yeah.
I'll have to keep an eye out for my daughter Harper. She's in the middle.
Yeah. You've just got to be really aware that they need to still feel that they've got a place in the family. So, just to give you an example of why I'm middle child, my sister got a scholarship to Dame Alice School in Bedford.
I think that's when my wife went. Yeah,
because of her diving.
Yeah.
And at that time we lived in Bedford, and she came to the end of her 5th form, and she was going to go to college for 6th form.
Yeah.
And so we moved because that was a good time for her educationally to move her. I had just moved to my senior school. I'd only been there 3 months. And suddenly we're moving to Welwyn Garden City.
Oh, wow.
And I went to a school there where they had done 2 years of Spanish, 2 years of French. Instead of general studies, they'd done history, geography, and environmental studies. They had done general sciences. They did biology, chemistry, and physics. So I've gone into this school. I'm paired with 2 girls on my first day. By lunchtime, they've got rid of me because they think I'm going to affect their friendship, and I'm expected, and I'm expected to pick up God knows how many subjects, 2 years worth of. And I'm going to be really honest with you, I just went, I'm not having any of that.
Don't think so.
I don't think so. So I became the class clown. You know, I spent more time outside my biology lessons than I spent in. I still remember poor Mrs. Potter. You know, I was probably, she probably still has nightmares about me. So I came out of school with nothing, and I did what most people do at that point in life, and I went to secretarial college. I was pretty ropey at that as well.
Secretarial college.
I could do 120 words a minute.
Is this typewriters?
Typewriters,
Come on.
QWERTY, you know, those big clangey things.
Of course.
To do, so I did that, and I went to work for my parents' next door neighbours, who were a doctor's surgery, as a medical secretary.
Oh wow! Is this the same people that we were talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about. Yeah.
So the parents have a daughter called Kirsty, who's the marketing manager of Midsummer Place.
Yeah.
Oh. There we go. She's seen them walk past.
My next door neighbours, my mum still to this day. Mum has coffee with them every Thursday. I used to babysit Kirsty, and I went to work for her parents. Was my first job. Her father, Dad is lovely.
Yes.
And then Kirsty came to work for me when my career took off. And now she's here. So she and I have been as one for years.
How crazy is that?
She was 7 years old.
So you was a secretary first?
Secretary.
Then what happened?
Decided I want to be like my sister, going to London. So I went and worked in a typing pool, got picked up by one of the directors, became his PA.
Yes.
Worked for him for 2 years. Then one day I decided I wanted a career. Okay, so I got this job, got a career, got a job offer to work in a public relations consultancy. Went into him with my little resignation letter. Yeah. Said, here I said, why are you leaving? And I said, because I want a career.
A real one.
Never forget this man, Brian Broughton. And he looked at me and he said, you will never have a career because you don't have a degree.
Wow, so we're talking degrees here.
It lit me up. Yeah. It literally...
Was that fire?
It was fire.
Yeah.
And I walked out of his office saying, nobody is going to tell me I'm not good enough.
Watch this.
And he actually then, organised for me to transfer to Marylebone Road, because I worked at NCR at this time in Marylebone Road, and I became PR coordinator for all their sponsorship. So I ran the NCR Book of Non-Fiction, the Philharmonic and Philharmonia Orchestra sponsorship, amongst Royal Ballet, a whole load of other stuff. And I did that for a few years. And then I got picked up by Saatchi Saatchi, who were our advertising agencies.
Pretty big company.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah.
So I went to work for Saatchi Saatchi in the advertising world, worked for them for a few years, then Capital Radio offered me a job.
Well,
So
we
I
were
went
just
to work
chatting about
Capital.
radio, weren't we?
Yeah. I mean, I guess of all the jobs I've ever done, Capital Radio was the most fun, because I was there when Chris Tarrant were there. And
Yeah, I see you name drop some names
Yeah.
this morning. Chris Tarrant. Any other big names people might know?
you know, Diddy Hamilton, Tony Blackburn,
Tony Blackburn.
Pat Sharp.
Are these all Chris
Fox.
Gregg's heroes?
I think
No.
I could.
Yeah.
Can I still mention Neil Fox? I think his career went a little bit down the tubes recently.
Never proven.
Yeah.
Never proven.
I
don't know who he is, by the way.
And Mick
Yeah.
Brown, and they were. Well, you don't remember Dr. Fox's evening surgery? Oh my God, we used to go out round the town to the nightclubs.
What was your
everyone-
job?
So I was promotions.
Were you?
Yeah, and I ran Help a London Child.
Oh wow, that's
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
So,
So
how long
that's
were you?
how I started.
Yes.
Really.
And is that where the marketing sort of business
Yeah.
came from there?
And from there on, I was just, my jobs were just headhunt from there. So from there, I went to work at the Hatfield Galleria, because we'd run a big promotion at Hatfield Galleria in the Easter. It was 2 minutes from home. They offered me head of marketing. I went and ran that for 5 years. Then I went to BAA MacArthur Glen, the outlet people, opened up Cheshire Oaks, Great Western, Trois in Paris. From there, went to Jones Lang, where I was...
Every time you've
Yeah.
moved and you've went
Yeah.
to do your career and
Yeah.
your old boss was like, "You're never gonna make
Yeah.
it," was
Always.
was his voice always there?
always there.
And
He
was it like
was-
fingers up every time?
And whenever anybody asks me about my career,
Yeah.
I will say that day was the pivot.
Pivotal. Wow.
Yeah, that was the pivot. Nobody was going to tell me. Okay, I was
Yeah.
useless. I hadn't got any qualifications.
Yeah.
I used to sit at the dinner table,
Yeah.
and my dad and my
Yeah.
older sister used to sit there going, bing, bing, on a wind up, and I'd go, "What are you doing?" "Well, you've got to get used to that sound, Mel. You're going to work in Tesco's."
Oh wow. So
Yeah.
they
I
were
was
chipping
the
at you as
thicket.
well.
I was the thicket of the family.
Wow.
And so yeah, it was my drive, without doubt.
Both
my
of
drive.
those.
Not so much that, because that's
No.
just stuff that goes on in families.
Yeah.
But Brian Barton's words to me.
Did
telling
you ever
me-
stay in contact
No.
over the year? No.
No.
Did you ever follow, like, know what he was up to?
He came to my wedding, but then
Did he?
we lost touch. I'm not
Yeah.
even sure if he's alive.
Right.
But there are times when I'd love to go back to the school
Yeah.
and go, I haven't done so bad, have I?
100%. Yeah.
And I do love going and talking to schools, because the first thing they say is, what qualifications you got? And I honestly go, I haven't.
It's funny, with all your A4 list of things that you do, I would judge you and go, "Oh, well, you must have got a degree, and you must have did
No.
this, and you must have."
I went to the School of Life,
Yeah.
and I just got, Jones Lang being a director, it was Jones Lang Wootton when I was there, became a director for retail, and that's how I ended up being part of the build team on Midsummer.
Yeah.
Ended up working on Centre MK as head of communications. So I was a retail person, so I've worked in retail for 20 plus years, and then that extended into offices, so property.
Yes.
Like help the asset managers decide where they're going to build new shopping centres. So I've been involved in that whole property world, but it's come from doctors, surgery receptionist, medical secretary, working in a typing pool.
Do you think through the secretarial work, because when you're typing out a letter or a message, you've got to read it, haven't you? And you've got to take...
Yeah.
Did you take that all in, do you think?
Yeah, and I guess I'm a very organised person. If I've got 4 things to do,
Yeah, well, you need to be.
I
right?
don't go out of order. They get planned in my head. I've
Yeah.
got to go here, and if I go there, I'll go there, and then I go there, because then I'll end up doing a round
But it is
trip.
in your head.
But it's in my head, and I'm very OCD at home.
Okay.
Things have to be done.
Yeah.
Um,
The right
and
way.
I
The Mel
think,
way.
Yeah, I think if you spoke to any of my staff in my last job at my Milton Keynes,
Yeah.
I established the bid. It was a year-long you have to do a year-long consultation with business to get them to vote for it, and then you get established if you win. And I can always remember I'd go into my staff at my Milton Keynes and say, I had a thought in the middle of the night, and you could literally see them go, oh no, here we go.
What's coming?
What's she going to get us doing? What madcap idea she come up with now? So I think, I had a creativity that ran through me. I always wanted to do things that were different.
Did you?
Always.
So if 100 people were doing that, you'd go that way?
I'll do something different.
Have you always been like that?
Yeah, and I think because of my sport, although I wasn't very good at it, I would set myself goals, and even if I couldn't do it the normal way, ABC, and it meant I'd got to go, a different way.
And what sport are you particularly talking about?
Diving.
Okay.
So Olympic diving.
So what level did you get to?
National. I wasn't that good.
But
now.
But national's good, right? I mean,
diving. We weren't very good at diving up until
British.
About 2007. We were never finalled at anything. We were never top 12 in any. You never saw us at Olympic Games in the final of an Olympic Games.
What changed that? What was the pivotal moments on that?
I think Tom
Daly.
Tom Daly.
Oh, got another name.
Tom was a sea change for us. Now, I came back into the sport after having had my family in 2007. Went to World Championships in Melbourne as part of our team, British team, and then from there got picked up by what was then FINA, is now World Aquatics, and so I'm now obviously vice chairman of diving worldwide. But I think for the sport generally worldwide, and particularly in Great Britain, Tom and his success has really driven diving. I mean, nobody knew anything about diving before Tom Daly.
Good, or was the system got much better in the UK?
The system got better because we got UK sport, we got national lottery funding, more money came in, it became more structured, it got professionalised at the same time as we had this little talent down in Plymouth that potentially could win. And I've lived with him his entire diving career.
I noticed in your office, I was in there a few years ago, and you had a little message. And was it a picture of him?
Yeah, it's a caricature.
Knitting. Was he knitting in the picture?
Yeah.
Is he going to go again?
No, he's retired.
He's retired now, isn't he? Yeah.
He says.
Well, that's why I asked you. What do you think? You
well, I don't know. I mean, he officially retired after Paris. He's got the medals that he wanted. It's very difficult for an Olympian when they've won a medal to go again. There's always that fear they won't make it. Is it better to go when you're at the top or not? And
did they get gold in the doubles?
They got gold. Yeah,
I watched it.
So he's got a gold, a silver, and a bronze. So, I mean, he's got all
Thanks
of them.
for coming. Yeah.
He didn't medal in Beijing, London. We got our first medal in Rio. I think we brought home 4 medals in diving. In Tokyo, we brought home 5. In Paris, we brought home, I think, 6.
So in terms of sponsorship, you weren't part of any of that. You were judging on what you was part of the...
I'm always part of the British team by virtue of the fact I was their chairman for a while, and I'm still now very much a part of the team in that I go and I'm chief referee at our championships. Because of the work that I do on the World Aquatics side, I keep close to British diving, because effectively I'm influencing on behalf of our country at the role I do for World Aquatics, because I'm at the table when all the decisions are being made. So obviously I'm there representing Great Britain. So I'm always a part of that team, and I feel I get just as excited when they're winning a medal. I'm not allowed to show it, and I might even get to give that medal, and so that's really I'm not allowed to show. I have to sit. I do a lot of studying.
Is that the rules?
On my lap.
By the
because
way,
I'm not. When I'm away at World Aquatics events, I have no nationality. So if we're doing quite well, you've got me. I've got my Kuwait chairman, and then I've got my Chinese vice president. And of course, China and Great Britain go head to head on everything.
Yeah, I mean the Chinese are always there.
So there are days where she'll shake my hand or I shake hers. Mainly I shake her hand.
Well done.
But occasionally we topple them. It can be done, And so, you can't. What happens once we leave the pool deck? I'll go and find my divers, and I'll celebrate with them and with the coaches, and I have taken the coaches out for dinner afterwards. But when I'm on that pool deck, I have no nationality.
It's quite interesting. Before I met you, I'd had a couple of people, because I didn't really get into Milton Keynes networking. I was always working for someone else, but had lived in Milton Keynes since I was a baby. And when your name was mentioned, she's a bit, she knows what she wants. She's a bit stern. She's tough. She's that. I was like, I can't wait to meet this lady. So I met you. You're lovely, and you've got to play the role when you're in the role, don't you?
Yeah.
And all the bits you're involved with, you are leading, and so there's a time for fun, and there's a time for, like, we need to do this properly.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that you do, you've got that professionalism, isn't it?
Yeah, and I know that about me. I can be stern. But
then you're completely like the opposite, like like chatting.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite a nice mix, isn't it?
I try to be. I think I won't be turned over.
No.
No. And I remember at Jones Lang having an appraisal, and my boss at that time was a guy called Richard Wright, lovely guy, and he said to me in my appraisal, you need to be careful not to wipe the floor with people. And I said, please explain. He said, because you do know your stuff, and people aren't always at your point,
level,
and maybe coming a bit slower behind you, you can come across as, get out of my way, I'll do it myself. And you need to be careful as a boss not to do that.
How do you feel about that at the time?
I know that I do it. I mean, if I go to a meeting and it's boring the hide off of me,
I can just see you rolling your eyes going, when is this going to finish?
The chair gets pushed back, the arms get crossed, and I've disengaged. And I know I do it. And it's one could say it's an arrogance. It's not an arrogance. No. I just can't be bothered with dancing around houses. Are we doing it or aren't we doing it? And we'll problem solve the way the way through. Some people can't do that, and I'm pretty honest with people. If somebody asks my opinion, I tell them what I think.
Well, you're asking for a reason, aren't you?
Yeah. And then they get sort of prickly because you've told them what they know, but they don't want to hear it because they're not ready to hear it. Well, I can't do that,
We've just had international. Is it? I don't even know.
Women's Day.
Women's Day, right? I mean, even now you're going to say so. What's your opinion on International Women's Day? Because I feel like there's certain groups of people within that day that have certain opinions. What's your opinion of the actual day, from your point of view?
I think.
You're thinking about this one.
It's great. I have to be really careful with my answer on this one. I think it's great to celebrate women. I think when I started at work, you came out of school, you got a job, you worked for a couple of years, you got married, you had children. That was the role of the woman, and my life hasn't turned out like that as it happens. I ended up forging a career of sorts for myself. So I think anything that celebrates how far women have come on, I think, why not? Yeah. I guess my question back at it was, why is there not an International Man's Day?
Yeah, and I get this with every flip side.
That's my question. Yeah. It's, why in this day and age do we need to celebrate subsections of the community? And I don't get it. I celebrate it.
Do you get invited and you go along?
I do get invited and I go along.
Do you do talks? Are you on the panel? Are you on?
I've judged things.
Yeah.
But I still come back to the premise that if we want equal opportunities, then everything should be equal.
Yeah, of course.
And whilst I think it's great to celebrate things, and I think International Women's Day is amazing what it does, but why should we need that?
Yeah.
Why do we need to do that if we all want to be equal? So I come at it from, I'm quite a reflective person.
Yeah, of course.
And I will look at things from different angles and question, why do we need to do that if this was going on? So I see why it happens, but I think it's sad that we need to do that.
I kind of agree as well, and it's like, can I even go? I don't even know, because
you can.
Well, I don't pay attention to it, but it's because it's rounded off into this International Women's Day. You feel like, okay, go and celebrate your thing, because I feel like, can you go into it? Can you not? But you can.
You can.
Yeah.
And if you look at the pictures that came out of last week's event, there were men sitting there, and I think that's wonderful that men want to go to it. Of course. And I also think, Women in Enterprise, for instance, which was started by Sally Fenimore, an amazing woman with a huge history in this city, as did her late husband Roger. She, that organisation, which actually is behind International Women's Day with Michelle Thurmer and Amanda Wright, they do an amazing job networking women, because women aren't like men. The Mars and was it Venus, whatever that was about.
we spoke about that last week.
We're
so different.
We are different.
Yeah.
We react to things in a different way. So I think what those events do, whether it be Women in Enterprise and the events they run, or whether it be an International Women's Day one-off each year, is they give the opportunity for women just to celebrate themselves and have a pat on the back. Because then they're going back to managing the house, managing the children.
It's quite funny, isn't it? Because if there was, I don't know if there is, but if there was International Men's Day, it would probably get a backlash. Like, well, what's that?
Exactly.
Why are you doing that? Why are you trying to be so like? So I think opinionally, like it probably wouldn't happen, because it's frowned upon in a weird way.
Yeah, and it's also like awards. You have women's awards, you have men's awards. Why do we need to have them? Why can't they be one?
Yeah, 100%.
Women, there are, particularly in Milton Keynes, a lot of really, really successful women.
Loads.
And if you look at businesses in Milton Keynes, there is a significant number of women at the forefront
running
of those businesses.
100%.
So, slowly, the women are catching up, and I hope there will come a time when we don't need to have separate days, and we don't need to have awards that are specifically for women, because we won't have that glass ceiling. And I think the Queen put a fantastic quote up this year where she talked about women and breaking the glass ceiling, and I think it is still there. And I don't know how long it's going to take for us to really break through it. Yeah. But we in this particular city have some phenomenal women.
We do.
We do.
So is the marketing business still under your name?
It's still there. Yeah, still there.
So when you start a business, because this is Boom 7, Meet the Owner, when you have a marketing agency, where do you start?
Well, I started my business when I came out of Jones Lang, and I'd got a lot of clients within the property industry. So I was nervous what I did it for a specific reason. My father had just passed away unexpectedly, and my mum was at sea, and she was having to deal with the loss of her life, basically, because her life revolved around my father. And I sort of thought, I can't be getting on a train at 7 o'clock in the morning and getting home at 8 o'clock at night. I need to be around.
Was that pre-kids?
No, I had a son.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I started this consultancy, and I really didn't know how it was going to go.
So did you hand your notice in, or did you
side
hustle?
Yeah, I had to do 3 years. I had to do 3 years, hand my notice in, and 3 months, and I wasn't
allowed. I was
going to
say, 3 year notice period, how good
I had a year notice place with my Milton Keynes, but 3 months. And I wasn't allowed to take any of my clients. I could not contact my clients. The day I left, my clients contacted me.
So this is quite a common thing, and I've got a few friends, I won't mention them, but they did the same. They had the covenants 3 to 6 months, and the day that happened, he got 17 clients.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
They literally was like, we like you.
Yeah.
You're good at what you do.
And that is what happens. But that becomes a problem when you're running a business.
Yeah.
I was so unsure of how it was going to go.
Yeah.
I took a job
just in case,
from 6 till 10 every night, Monday to Friday, working in the A&E department at my local hospital.
Serious?
I was that person that put you in name, address, symptoms.
Back to your typing. They're like, oh my God, how fast is this lady?
So and then, I started that, and then suddenly all this business came in. But that comes with a problem, and you absolutely right. Your business follows you, your clients follow you, and it's always a dangerous time for any agency when the client changes, because you have a relationship with that person.
It's a person.
So of course I left Jones Lang, and suddenly my client said, I've got 12 pieces of business I want you to take on. And then the business grew, and it was really successful. Kirsty worked for me from here. Another guy, Huel, worked for me.
Oh, we know Huel.
Yeah,
I know Huel. Yes.
Huel that was at Willand for a while.
Is it Stowe School now?
He
He's at
did
school,
go to
isn't he?
school, didn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
We know Huel.
So Huel worked within the business for a while.
Yeah.
He used to look after the Pentagon Centre down in Gravesend.
So when do you...
But the problem is that the clients are used to you.
Oh,
So
who's
you
Huel?
introduce
Yeah.
somebody else in,
Yeah.
and the client goes, "No, I gave the business to you."
Yeah.
But there are only so many hours in the
You
day
can't do it all,
that
can
you
you?
can be the person.
So what did you do?
working
What
on
was the
it.
plan? How did you
Well,
work
I
around
sort
that?
of carried on, and I was doing really well. You, as a business owner, you really think you'll be motoring, won't you? And then January comes, and the corporation tax has to be paid,
Yeah.
and then your personal tax has to be
Yeah.
paid, and I was doing well. But you look at the end of the year, you go, "Wow, I made that much money," and then all that would go out, and you'd be at rock bottom again. And
Yeah.
I sort of got to the point where I thought, "Why am I doing this? I'm doing really well. I'm working my bottom
Tail
off,
off, yeah.
and then I'm paying all this tax.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna go back in." And I went and did a maternity cover at Centre MK, which lasted 8 years. That
8 years.
That baby's well overcooked. let me
Yeah,
tell
isn't
you.
it? Yeah. Jeez.
And
So did you carry on the business?
yeah,
or was on
the
the
business
side?
was there. I had 3 or 4 other clients,
Yeah.
and the owners of Centre MK said, "Yeah, that's fine." So I did them,
Yeah.
and then slowly you lose that business because I was
Yeah.
spending too much time at Centre MK. So
'Cause it's still active on LinkedIn,
yeah,
isn't it?
so yeah,
So you will always be like, oh yeah, maybe
Yeah.
we'll work on that project.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So by that time I'd worked on Theatre District, now 12th Street.
Yeah.
I'd worked on Midsummer that we're sitting in at the moment.
Was
I've
this
worked on
getting it
Centre
built?
MK. So yeah, getting it built,
Yeah.
the tree,
Yes.
a lovely tree, building around that, this atrium that was going to be a tram stop. All
And
those
what was your
things.
job for the Centre MK and the Midsummer? What was
So
your...
here I was consultant through Jones Lang to start with, so I was part of the construction team.
Yeah.
So we worked on the pre-construction, what sort of retailers were going to be in here, working around that tree scenario.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
tell people about the tree, because I've climbed up that tree many times when I was drunk, and there was
Yeah.
no shopping centre,
no.
and it was on the way back from probably the Winter Gardens.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I don't know why it became a thing, because from our point of view, if we climbed up it, so we know the tree, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think the whole of Milton Keynes knew the tree, so there was a big hoo-ha about the
It
tree,
was a
wasn't
huge hoo-ha about it, and actually during the build process, that tree got like gold standard of healthcare from the arborologist.
Yeah.
But the reality is that the tree sits above the service deck, so the retail here is serviced underneath
That's
the
right, yeah.
building. And so to maintain the tree root, they basically built a great big pot
Yeah.
underneath it. And anyone who's a gardener will know
You say
if
it's
you've
gonna
got
die,
something
isn't it?
in
Yeah.
a pot,
Yeah.
it's gonna, and in that location with building all around it, it's gonna bake in the summer and drown
Yeah.
in the winter.
Yeah.
So its shelf life was 10 years. It was frankly never.
So it got built
gonna-
round
So it got built round.
and then died.
And of course, this whole the bit we call the bit
The new
next to
bit.
the new bit.
The new
as it's
bit.
called. And in fact,
How many years are we on?
when this was being built, Centre MK were very clever with their messaging around the hoarding, and really just it was the new bit.
Yeah,
to
the
them.
new bit. Still
And
is.
we used to call them the dark side.
There is a big thing there.
There
actually,
is, yeah.
between still to this day.
Still this day,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So we are the new bit, they're the dark side. And so we built this, we opened it.
So did you work for both?
Not at that time, I was
No.
on this.
So you were here.
So I was here, and I was here when I was working for Jones Lang, and I worked on it for 5 years. We opened it. We did the clock parade. Does anyone remember the clock parade, Chris? No?
Clock parade. Where's the clock?
So the frog clock.
Oh, the frog.
That
yeah.
is not the only frog clock in the world.
Is it
Let me
not?
tell you, no. So the owners of the building at the time had 3 or 4 buildings.
Yeah.
One in Telford. So if you go to Telford, you'll see
Is there a frog?
edition number 1 frog
No
clock.
way. Okay.
They had one in Gloucester,
Right.
and this was the 3rd one. And the damn thing always stops working because
I
it's
don't
basic
think it's
fairy
working.
liquid.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got fairy liquid in
Yeah,
it.
it
It gets
stops
all
working.
gunked up.
Yeah.
I mean, the children love it.
They do love it.
Absolutely love it. You go there on the hour, the children are there ready to collect the
Yeah,
bubbles.
yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not working at the moment.
Was the whole point that kids
drive football
and to dwell, to stay.
dwell.
Oh look, let's have a burger.
Oh look,
Yeah.
I've got there 20 minutes
Yeah.
before the damn thing's meant to go through
I need
its
to go and buy
paces.
some clothes.
And my little grandson will hop up and down the clock.
Yeah.
So you have to find something to do for 20 minutes
Yeah.
waiting for the clock, and then you miss it.
Spend some money.
Spend some money, and
Yeah.
then you miss it because you spent too long spending money.
Yeah.
So you then have to wait another half an hour.
100%, yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean that was quite. I've done some exciting things in these buildings.
Mad things,
exciting things. I've fought listing for the Centre MK because it was 30 years old, so they listed it.
I was telling someone the other day, I took my son to work yesterday. It was a go to work with your parent day.
Yeah.
And I walked past the other clock, which is in the Centre
Yeah.
MK, and was the Centre the longest or largest?
Yes.
Is it the longest
Yes.
shop centre in Europe?
In Europe.
Is that still the case?
I don't think it is
No.
anymore. But again, the Midsummer Arcade, so the main, you've got two boulevards.
Yeah.
Midsummer
Yeah.
is built on the Midsummer lines.
Okay, yeah.
So, and there is a sculpture in there that on Midsummer's Day
Yeah.
lines everything up. And you know that there are druids and they come and...
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard about this.
Midsummer-
Is that to do with
yeah.
Campbell Park as
Yeah.
well? The line and where things
Yeah,
are placed?
Absolutely,
Oh, wow.
the longest day. So
Where's the
there's-
sculpture actually in the centre?
It's a glockenspiel. You've probably seen it, and it looks like an organ. It's
Right.
circular.
Yeah,
It's in Midsummer Arcade. If you look up,
yeah.
and the light.
Is it down the
light
John
that
Lewis
goes-
end?
Yeah.
I think I know.
The
it.
light.
We used to
that
hang
goes
around
through
the
it.
city centre.
Lillian Lynn's sculpture.
Yeah.
But it's all part of that Midsummer
Oh,
story.
wow, there you go.
There's loads of sculptures, all with different stories as
Yeah,
you go around
that's
Central
it.
Arcade. But that one's significant.
I went to your office. I think it was here actually, was it?
Yeah, in the old MKFM offices.
That's
we
right,
were,
MKFM.
Freezing,
and
no heating. Didn't realise that till we moved in.
Don't we all know it?
Yeah.
And there was some self-help books on the shelf. And I said to you, I don't know if you remember this, I said, oh Mel, can I borrow one of your books? And you went, Stephen, have as many as you want. And I went to the receptionist, I said, have you got a box? She said, what do you want a box for? I went, Mel said I can have as many as I want. I took 20 books.
Yeah.
I'm still reading them.
Are you?
Self-help wise, you seem really driven, but do you or did you go into self-help yourself? Have you ever had a coach? Have you ever had a mentor for all your businesses, and have you just been you driven?
Me driven.
Crazy.
Me driven.
Yeah.
I mean, have I ever had a mentor? I've had people that I look up to.
Yeah.
And there are people that I've taken behaviours from.
Yeah. Good ones.
Yeah, and some bad ones apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
I shouldn't wipe the floor with people.
Yeah.
I think I'm. What I would be known for in Milton Keynes is if she says she's going to do it, she'll do it.
Yeah. So commitment.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that was what got me our first 5 years for the Business Improvement District, because you've got no history, so you're trying to sell something to business
That didn't exist. Yeah.
that didn't exist, and you're asking them to pay for it. Because they pay an extra percentage on their business rates to
Yes.
have a business improvement district. So, when you go to business and say, I'm going to set up this organisation and you're going to pay, I think at that time it was 2% on top of your business rates.
Yeah.
And that's going to come to me and I'm going to do all these amazing things. And it comes when economically we're not in great shape. You've got to sell it. And I think the couple of years before that, I'd done two things. I'd raised a huge campaign about parking before, the pandemic. So parking was a major issue in this city. Yeah. And I'd managed to get the council to put off putting parking charges up until they'd made an additional 1,000 spaces. They then did that by making the spaces smaller, which was interesting. But we won that campaign and we were quite vocal. And I also introduced, and this is such a stupid thing, Christmas decorations. Now here is the city centre of Milton Keynes that is known inside Centre MK for its huge Christmas display. Yeah?
Yes.
We all went there every year with
Throw your money into the pot.
The wishing well. We'd all
well,
done it, and I did 4 years of innovating that. So my last year was the year that there was a white 28-metre span Christmas tree in the middle of all the animation. And amazing thing to do. You start in January working on that because it was such a huge thing. But the city centre, Midsummer Boulevard, had never had a twinkly light in its life. So I went with my begging bowl to Centre MK and Midsummer and others and said, if you give me money, I'm going to put some lights in the trees outside, which they did.
Yeah.
And so I'd done those two things, and then I went to business and said, will you look at forming a business improvement district? It's going to cost you 2% on your business rates. And
But was this the thing anyway?
No, we'd never had one.
But was it up for grabs? Could you
No,
created it?
Well, there's lots of business improvement districts all over they started in Canada and North America.
Yeah, okay.
And there was the first in London was for the Trocadero. Now the New West End company is the big one in London. But we'd never had one in Milton Keynes. We tried, but we never got it across the line. And you have to do a year-long consultation. You apply for money from central government to do that feasibility study. Yeah. I got £35,000. The owners of the Centre MK and Midsummer gave me a further £15,000 each. And they said to me, if you get this in, you can keep the 15 grand each.
Okay.
So another, see, I was lit up, wasn't I? Another.
So you're built in, this sales comes through all of your... Would you say you are a salesy person without being a sales...
I'm not good at new business. I can't go and knock on doors cold.
But that sounds like that is cold. Hey, give me 2%.
Because I guess my sales technique on it was, if I told you that I can spend £1 million over the next 5 years improving this city for your employees, because they had an issue around retention, churn, would you do it? That was the sell.
But it's a sell.
So, so I won that ballot. So we did the 12 months, agreed with the council that we could. The council's the only one that can stop it happening.
Yeah, okay.
It's a 28-day ballot. It's general elections of a day. Let me tell you, they're easy peasy. Anyone can do a day. 28 days waiting to find out whether you've won is a long time. Yes. And you spend that 28 days literally corralling everybody to go and vote. Yeah. Because they get their ballots in the post. They go in the in tray, and you've got to try and get them to go and vote. We won 82%.
That's really good.
82%.
Were you concerned? Or did you know you'd done enough?
I think the day the call, because they ring you in the afternoon, they count in the morning, and then you get the call. And that call coming through to tell me whether I'd done it or not.
The first few seconds, right?
Even though you're pretty confident that you've got the big guns, because you have to win 2 votes for a business improvement district. You've got to win the one across the line, yes, no, and you've got to win the greatest rateable value. Yes. So, if somebody like Primark or John Lewis say no, you've got to find that many millions of pounds to equalise. Yeah, okay. So, and I was pretty sure we got the big guys, but that's still, they could lie.
Yeah, yeah.
And that 28 days in the afternoon you'd ring, say, I saw you voted, will you tell me how you voted? And some people won't. No. And when they say, no, we're not telling you, think, no, that was a no then. Yeah. That's a no. So you never really know. So when the call comes through, you are, it was, I remember the chief exec of the time of the council, Carol, said, do you want me to do this formally, or do you want me just to tell you? I said, just tell me. Yes. So, and she said, you've won 82%. Brilliant. So I then had 3 months to establish the business. Yeah, wow. So I'd got to get offices, I'd got to get staff, I'd got to start saying, because you publish this business plan saying all that you're going to do. Yeah, and
you've got to go and do it.
And then you've got to go and do it. You've got to bring it to life. So that first 5 years was all about proving that you could do it.
And one of your biggest achievements, would you say, in your career?
At that time, the biggest thing here was getting the staff, the employee buses going round and round on circles, so people they got to go to the station. Yeah. They hopped on a bus. They didn't have to move their cars, so they didn't have to find a space if they came back. So was that one of my biggest achievements?
You've done so many.
I couldn't tell you.
No. So you're
actually. No, I couldn't tell you my best achievement.
So you're an MBE?
I'm an MBE.
Well done, congratulations. How did you get your MBE? Why?
I got it for services to the community during COVID.
Amazing.
So I, like everybody, we all got locked down, sitting there thinking, okay, what am I going to do?
Because I can't imagine you were sitting down watching TV?
I can sit in the garden, get sun damage, or get myself out and do something. And I'd got these two coaches, 19-seater coaches, sitting at our yard that still had to pay for.
Still the coaches that were taking the staff up and down.
Yeah, because there was no staff here, so there was no point running them. All my staff were on furlough.
Yeah.
So I'd got these two coaches. I'd got an estate car, all of which I was still having to pay for. So I rang Michael Bracey at the council, said, how can I help? I rang the parish councillors, said, how can I help?
Yep.
Got these vehicles, what can I do? Then all the staff went on furlough, so I wrote out to them and said, will you help? And they said, we can't because we're on furlough. So I'm sort of sitting there going, okay, I'm now getting all these requests, pick up PPE, deliver it to the hospital, take food round to the shielded that weren't allowed out. I thought I can do this. So there I am in my bus, Olive.
And you were driving?
Driving.
Yes.
I'd go with my husband. We'd take the two coaches. We'd go over to Saxon Court.
Yeah.
We'd load up our trays. And then I'd get my route where I was going. And off I'd go around Milton Keynes delivering. And you had to go to the house, knock on the door,
step
put
away.
it on the doormat, step back. If the person couldn't pick it up, you'd ask them to go to another room and you'd go and put it in their kitchen for them.
Yeah.
So I did that morning and afternoon. So I went PPE at 10.
Yeah.
My first drop for food was 11. And my second drop was, I think it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I just did that.
How long did you do that for?
I think about 3 or 4 months.
And do you know who put you forward? Because you have to be put forward, don't you, to get
You
them
do
in?
have to be put forward.
Do you know who it was?
Well, I do know that there was already a nomination in for my sport because I've done it for so long.
Yeah.
But this seemed to take that over and it picked up the interest of, we have a local honours committee.
Yeah.
And at that time, the Vice Lieutenant was Alexander Boswell. And from what I understand, he picked that up. And then, do you know what? I was laying on my bed one afternoon.
Lazy.
In I think it was the September.
Yes.
And I got this email, and because we're in the middle of the pandemic, I just got this email, and it just got an attachment, and I thought, I think that might be spam.
Yeah.
So I closed it again because all I could see was an attachment, nothing else.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I then went back to it and I scrolled, and underneath it said Cabinet Office. So I thought, it's obviously a briefing because we were getting briefings about key worker status and what we could and couldn't do. So I opened it, and it had this letter from the Prime Minister which said, and it was a really strange letter because it says, you've been nominated to the Queen, but you know, it doesn't tell you that you've got it. It's the wording makes you think, well, have I got it?
Have I got
it? So I sort of read this letter and I sort of giggled to myself and then burst into tears because the emotion when you read, oh my God, I've got this letter from, and you're not allowed to tell anyone. That's the hardest thing. You are not allowed to divulge.
No one.
You can tell your close family members.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
So I rang my husband, told him, he went, oh, okay. He knew. Yeah. Because you have to get letters of support, and Alexander had asked him to help.
So who would you recommend to help?
So he would say, who could you write to get a letter of support?
Yeah. And
Waterford already got like letters from all around the world because of the things I've done for the sport, the impact I've had in the sport. But these were letters that related to COVID.
Oh, right.
And so I read the first part of this letter, and it wasn't until later in the evening, about 8 o'clock at night, I reopened it because you have to send back a form saying you're accepting it. And that's on page 3. And I hadn't read the whole letter, so I got to this back page that I was going to send back, and it said Melanie Beck MBE for work in the community for Milton Keynes. And I looked at my husband, I went, it's not for diving. It's not for diving.
Yeah, you'd assumed it was, right?
I just assumed it was.
Yeah.
And then there's a citation about why you're being given it. My sport wasn't even mentioned. It was all this stuff that were done COVID.
Wow.
I mean, when I was lucky to have the Prince of Wales, which was Charles at the time. Now
the King.
The King.
Yes.
And I remember him saying to me, because you get about 8 minutes, just you and him.
Is that the time?
Yeah,
8 minutes. You've got 8 minutes.
You go in, you're announced. It's all very grand.
Yeah.
And I was in Windsor. and you're announced, and you're told to walk forward, you stop, you curtsy. I wobbled on my curtsy. Okay, you should have seen this curtsy. I've got a video of me curtsying, because you get the video after the event. Yeah. And I sent it to my fitness trainer, and I said, and he said,
legs.
We have spent every training session doing hundreds of curtsy lunges.
Oh, really?
And then you do that on the day.
You trained?
Well, yeah, but I was wearing trainers, not high heels. I wobbled all over.
Yeah.
So then you walk forward, and he starts talking to you. And he wanted to know about the body bags that I'd taken up to Birmingham. He said, you took body bags?
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, that's the sort of level of the things you're doing.
Course, so,
and he, what was incredible was, for that 8 minutes, even though there were a lot of other people in the room,
it was just stopped.
It's just like the world stopped, in which you and him, and he is the most charming man. He is quite amazing. And I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm looking at him thinking, you're just like your spitting image character.
How funny is that? Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
But he was so charming. And I then got to meet him a year later.
Yeah, we mentioned this.
Because he came here to deliver the plates for becoming a city.
Yes.
And I was introduced to him. And he said, you wear your MBE on those functions. And he said to me, thank you for wearing that. I said, well, it was an honour that you gave it to me. I said, actually, you gave it to me a year ago. And he went, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, you did. I said, but we've got a problem. And
this was you, wasn't it?
We have. I said, yeah, we've got a problem. I said, what are we going to do for our anniversary next year? And he laughed out loud, and he walked to the next person in the line, and then he turned his head and he winked at me, and the person standing next to me went, Melanie Beck, you have just flirted with the King of England. But,
why not, though?
Why not? He's normal.
Yes.
He is very normal, and I think that's it. You expect him to be very stilted and difficult and posh, but he's just so normal.
Great. Were you really proud? Like, did you love that day?
I was proud, and I can't. That moment is just something I will never forget. Just that time with the King of England. You know,
and your scroll that you said.
So my scroll, you get this amazing scroll that's all done in Old English writing, and mine, unfortunately, was one of the last signed by the Queen, and also at the top signed by Prince Philip. So I've got one of the last scrolls.
Well, fortunately for you, actually, that's nice, isn't it?
But when I opened it and I saw that Philip was on it, because it came before the Queen passed, and I thought that's one of the last ones, because he's not here to sign them anymore. And then obviously I've got the Queen's signature on the bottom. So it's a treasure. It's a treasure. It's in my house.
It sounds like my wedding book. I've never touched it with all the photographs, because I will spill the tea on there. Yeah, and that's my wedding book.
Yeah,
isn't it? So
I've got a book that sits in my hallway with all the pictures of the day. The book you get given when you go in. I've got a book about the Queen, and then on those little teddy bears.
You got some china, and sometimes I have a little cup of tea next to it.
No, I am a huge royalist. I'm massive royalist. I've been very lucky to meet most of them. Yeah. But I'm huge.
And you've done a lot of this. We won't get into this, but you then would you say you were ill, or you got cancer?
I got cancer.
Yeah.
So I got breast cancer. And had 18 months of difficult treatment. Fortunately, I got sepsis, so hospital stays, and my oncologist looked at me every time I went in and went, I've never had everybody that has got everything go wrong. I got shingles, I got COVID, I got sepsis, so it went on. But I came through that, and I made the decision. I was exhausted, if I'm really honest, and I was also pretty damn intolerant. I mean, if you thought I wiped the floor then with people, Jesus, what I would do now. I mean, you do become quite intolerant when you've been through something like that, and you have to sort of get yourself back into living in the real world, a new you. I often thought to myself during that time, will I ever be Melanie again? The hair falls out, the eyebrows, the eyelashes. It isn't a great journey, but you get through it.
Yeah, of course.
It takes time, and I absolutely agree with the statement the Princess of Wales made recently when she said, it's not during the treatment that's hard, it's when it all stops.
Yeah.
That's when I found it the most difficult.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you aren't seeing somebody every day for blood tests or this test or that test. You're not
all the
talking to your
attention, all the
nurses.
something to do, yeah.
You're not going, so you're not cuddled and supported anymore. And I went to Willen Hospice for some lymphedema treatment. I met the most amazing two ladies who run that department, and I was in a bad place one day and they were doing what they do.
Do you remember their names?
Yes, Kate.
Yes.
And I might need to look at you.
Chris.
Kate and
no.
the lady who gave me all my treatment, whose name's now gone out of my
Don't
head.
worry. Big shout out to Willen Hospice.
Big shout out
we
to
love
Willen Hospice. An incredible place doing amazing work, you know, and they're known for end of life.
Yeah.
They do so much more than that.
Yeah.
And so underfunded. And Kate, their CEO, is an amazing individual. And I said to these two girls, I don't know what my future is. Do I have a future? I was really in a bad place.
Of course.
And they said, you need to come on our Hope course.
Okay.
And I went to this, and the first day, it was like 3 hours for 6 weeks on a Thursday morning. And, you know, you walked in, everybody was in a circle, everyone was on their phones, not wanting to talk to each other. And we had 3 men and 5 women. Most of the women were breast cancer. The men were prostate, unfortunately. And over the next 6 weeks, they took us apart and put us back together again.
Oh, amazing.
And by the end week, we all had a purpose in our lives. And they are completely to blame, sorry world, for putting me back together again and giving me a future, and I shall never ever forget that for Willen.
Yeah.
You know, if they hadn't had that service, I'm not really sure, because my surgeon, I went in and was telling her, I'm really worrying about whether it's going to come back, whether. And she went, I just cut it out. I don't deal with the mental stuff.
I don't need to be dealing with this bit.
I can't deal with this bit.
Crazy.
You need to talk to your
well, they
people
couldn't,
and
could
get
they?
some counsellors.
If they had to go through it with every single person, they'll be broken, wouldn't
she
they?
Said, and I thought, oh, okay, radio, not going to get any help out of you then.
No.
So Willen Hospice caught me. They really did, and yeah.
Are you probably supported them over the years anyway?
I've done some work with them recently, and I will always. I helped Kate when she first went in, and I will always be somebody they can call on, because it really is phenomenal. You don't realise you need help, but they provide that help when you 100%. Most need it.
So you should be at the Santa Dash this year.
We'd sponsored the Santa Dash for years as my Milton Keynes, and I was always, I was a great believer that part of the role of the Business Improvement District was to support local initiatives.
100%.
Because, the majority of people who are at the hospital, at Willen, using that, I've probably got people who work in this city who work in businesses that funded my Milton Keynes.
Yes.
So I was a great supporter of the hospital, of Willen. I missed one. I'm
You've
chairman.
got another one?
I'm chairman of the hospital fundraising committee.
Come on.
Sorry, I missed that
one. That paper's double-sided, isn't it?
I know. So I work with Vanessa on raising money.
We know
We've raised
Vanessa,
money
amazing.
for chemo chairs, for baby incubators. So we do that. We have a ball in the autumn. We do quiz nights to raise money for that. So yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So 3 things, because I think I could speak to you till Sunday.
Yeah.
In business and in your personal, the way you are, if someone is starting out now as a young kid or coming out of school, and I learned a lot yesterday when I spent the time with my son about come to work, because I was asking Chris from the radio, how do you run that, what do you look out for, what's good for character, what's the 3 things that will help someone in business in terms of tips?
When you come out of school, whatever education facility you come out of,
because you came out with nothing.
And what I would say there, so my first tip is, just because you haven't got a degree doesn't mean you can't make it.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, my school had written me off, and I look back at my career and think I wow myself, frankly, as to the things that I am and the things that I do now, and I'm, the things that I'm allowed to do or asked to do as a DL. Who, if I look at that girl that left school with nothing, and think what I do now,
miles apart.
Never stop believing in yourself. That would be the first thing.
Self-belief. Believe you can do it, no matter your grades at school.
You might get knocks along the way,
Yeah.
and you might get told you can't, but never lose faith that you can.
Amazing.
Do whatever you want to do. That would be number one.
Yep.
Number two would be get as much out of school as you can.
Oh, so it's
taken, I did it through life, but if I'd worked at school and gone to university, I could have done it a bit quicker. It took me 40 years.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think now, if I look back, because it's so much tougher now. When I rolled out of school, you went and did a typing course.
Yeah, there's options. Yeah.
Now, I read daily about university graduates that can't get a job. So I think, yes, get the best you can, but believe in yourself.
Yes.
And my third tip would be to be a team player.
Big.
Okay. Because so often bosses are so busy celebrating their own success, they forget to take their team with them. And I carry on my phone a cartoon of two mountains side by side.
Yeah.
And one has got the staff, pulling themselves up on a rope with the boss at the top celebrating how successful he is.
Yeah.
And the other one is the staff on the rope being pulled up, and the boss is pulling them up.
Yeah.
So what I would say is be a team player. Don't ever think that you can do anything without taking them with you. I had the most phenomenal staff at my Milton Keynes who would do anything that I asked them to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can be a bit crackpot. And they were there front and centre. And my Milton Keynes wasn't Melanie Beck. It might have started that way because people had to believe in the dream.
Yeah, of course.
But what I left behind was an organisation that had a group of people that could carry on and do it. And so no matter how far you go up the greasy pole, always remember that you can come down.
Yeah.
And it's the way you treat people on the way up that matters. I could go up there now and see all my staff, and we'd have a good old natter, and I will always feel really, really sentimental about them because they came on that journey with me.
Amazing.
So, always remember you're only there because of your staff.
So good. Thank you for coming on today. You've got, that A4 bit of paper is double-sided.
It's ridiculous.
What's the next? Is there anything you want to do that is not on your list? Is there some achievements that you want to achieve in business or in the community? Because you seem driven to do even more.
I think, what would I like to do? I want to be the best grandma.
Aww,
I've got
legend.
four little rugrats.
Yeah.
One's 7 and it's got a little bit of autism. I've got twin boys of 15 months who have lived with me for the first part of their lives for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So I've really seen them growing as fresh,
Yeah.
and watching them grow.
Yeah.
I missed all that with
you
my
do
son.
miss that sometimes.
I
when
missed
you're
that
behind,
because I was so busy trying to forge a career that I missed all that. And, yesterday they were round and, they're only 14, 15 months old, but one of them came forward with a little cup that he was building with, and I went to take it and he ran away from me and laughed. And you think, how at 15 months can you be that, that devious that
Yeah,
you're
of
going to
course.
come at your grandma and
Yeah,
then run
yeah,
off when
yeah.
she comes towards you. So they give me absolute pleasure. And then I've got one who is 18 months in London. So all boys.
And all little as well.
pinks.
Yeah.
No pinks.
No pinks. Amazing. And you should enjoy it, because that, you
Yeah.
know, even though your children can be stressful, Chris, and tiring,
Yeah.
grandchildren, as they say, you can hand them back.
But they don't go back.
They
They
don't go
stay.
back, they wanna stay.
Mine stay.
Because
But
you give them all the treats. Thank you for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
Big respect to you. I'm glad I met you when I did meet you, and you gave me all those books that you didn't realise I had. And I'm sure you'll have lots more fun.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Got a little bit more time.
Yeah,
with
you'll be
me
fine.
yet.
Thank you, Mel.
Okay, it's a pleasure. Thanks
Cheers.
for having me.
Thank you.